Alright, I think that should probably be enough. Hey guys, hey, hi, it's me, it's Tech. Tenka, how you guys doing? After a long, long time, it feels good to once again slip back into the... Fuck. Yes, there it is. Whatever. After a long, long time, it feels good to slip back into the warm embrace of a normal visual novel. Ah. I hope anybody who's watching on YouTube isn't too confused, I guess is the word. I used to stream this on Twitch, but for a couple different reasons. I just want to do it here. It's quote unquote quieter here on YouTube than it is on Twitch. And what I mean by that is I don't get bothered by bots every 5 seconds. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, nothing too major about it. Fuck. Oh shit, I should get some water. All right. I know I just spent an extra about 4 minutes doing nothing. Enjoy another minute of that while I go get some water. Yep. Oh, is there no lousy water left in this place? What the hell? Oh, there's a little bit, but... Alright. That's fine. I really want to tear into this as fast as I can, because... I was looking at the... I think I can see it from here. Is it an extra? I was looking in the archive, just to kind of remember some shit, and look around. We are here now? Wow, this is technically session 4 of the thing, and we've only done this stuff, and I was like, maybe I should get in on that. If you're wondering why one of them didn't say new, it's because I was like, what the fuck is this? I just clicked one at random. Alright. Is there a bookmark? Let's search for a bookmark. Oh, okay. Is there like a playtime on any of this? Why did I save it like this? What's wrong with me? What if I just hit continue? What'll like this?
でも犬は良くないな、飛び丸。
I guess we're jumping right in. Hey. I see what you're saying, Tobimaru, but being a dog isn't exactly a good thing. What the fuck? How is this all the context it's giving us? Whatever. Sojiro sat in the chair with a concerned look on his face.
Huh? 犬がどうしたって?
Huh? What's wrong with dogs?
犬は良くないって言った。例えが違う気がするし、何より怖いぞ、あれ。
I hope for my own sake they just jumped into this fucking conversation like this. Dogs aren't good. I mean, it's a bad comparison in the first place, but dogs are way scarier.
なんだよ。山奥育ちのくせに 犬が怖いのか？
You grew up in the mountains and you're still afraid of dogs?
そりゃ大抵の生き物は怖いけど、犬は別格だ。
I grew up in a little mountain. I'm afraid of most animals, but dogs are in a class of their own.
徒党を組んだ野犬ほど始末に負えないものはない。
Pack of wild ones are particularly terrifying.
足の速さも脅威だけど、何より執念深すぎる。
As tenacious as they are fast.
坂だろうと追いかけてくるし、最後の一匹になるまで引かないんだぞ。
No matter where you run, they'll chase you as long as there's still life in them. Are you okay, bro? I can't help but draw focus to the bandages on your neck and wonder how far down those go. Sojiro opened up his lunch as he spoke. Inside the bright green cloth, 3 beautifully made triangular rice balls.
ショックだ。
No, I'm already out of my water. Would you look at that?
ショックって何が？
I love that stupid face he makes. Look at what? What do you mean?
いや、そんなこの世のものとは思えない握り飯を見たのは初めてだ。思わず絶句しちまった。
Oh, nothing. It's just those are some special looking rice balls you got there.
それどっちなんだ？
I don't know how to take that.
褒めてるんだよ、バカ。
Trying to compliment you, stupid. Sojiro was always confounded by phrasing that could be interpreted in multiple ways. Euphemisms and subtle sarcasm were often lost on this autistic man. It was only on rare occasions like this one where he chose to confirm what was being said. Tobimaro had come to suspect that Sojiro had a very black and white way of seeing things.
ところで、その固まった小麦粉みたいなの、美味しいのか？
You mean bread? Brother! Hold on, I gotta... Water... Say, does that hard chunk of flour-looking stuff taste any good? Sojiro stared at the energy bar. Okay, with a curious look on his face. That's more... I understand being confused by that.
まずくはねえが、うまくもねえよ。まあ、試してみる分には止めねえが。
It's not meant to taste good. You can try it if you want. I can't figure out this guy's voice.
人間、何事も手間暇惜しむようになっちゃおしまいだぜ。ことが三大欲求ならなおさらだ。
People shouldn't hold back when it comes to the 3 base desires. Tobimaro quickly finished off his bar, put another one on the table, and grabbed one of Sojiro's rice balls. Sojiro failed to notice the rudeness of the forced exchange and gave the proffered energy bar a try.
なんだか土を食べてるみたいだ。
I don't know. Tastes kind of bad.
違いない。遊びをなくせば人生こんなもんだって見本だな。
Now you get it. That's what a joyless existence tastes like. Out of principle, Sojiro labored over his energy bar, cringing the whole while. He was both curious of the unknown and loath to leave something unfinished.
今無理に平らげる必要はねえぞ。そいつの利点は携帯食ってところだからな。素で味気ないが、食えるうちは味が落ちないのがいいところだ。
Don't force yourself to finish it right now. The whole point of that is that you can eat it on the run. While the flavor isn't that great, at least it's consistent.
まあ、そっちはともかく。どうだ、少しは慣れたか？
Anyway, forget that. You getting used to how things work around here? Sojiro contemplated for a couple minutes. Oh, okay, it didn't register that.
ああ、飛び丸や青崎が気を使ってくれているからね。
Yeah, you and Azaki have been a huge help. Tobimaro turned his eyes up to the ceiling, unable to handle Sojiro's carefree smile. As absent-minded as Sojiro might have been, his expressions were nonetheless incredibly earnest. Charm point. It was like poison to someone as self-absorbed as Tobimaro.
だから青崎は来ねえんだよな。
And now I know why Ozaki goes out of her way to avoid him. He'd take a bite from the rice bowl to steer himself away from such thoughts. Though now cold, the rice had managed to maintain its freshness, startling Tobimaro.
ん？いや待て。気を使ってんのは俺だけじゃねえか。青崎なんてお前が転入した日に彼迷惑だから見張ってての一言だけだぞ。
Wait a sec, I'm the one that has your back, you know that, right? Ozaki told me you were too annoying to deal with.
なんでそこで君が怒るんだ？
Did I say something upsetting?
いや、だからだな。お前が学校になれるよう陰ながら見守ってんのは俺で、青崎は生徒会室で全校生徒の弱みを集めてるだけって話だ。面倒な苦労してんのは俺だけじゃねえかって。
Don't you get it? I'm the only one helping you keep your head above the water while Ozaki sits in the student council room digging up dirt on other students. I'm the one who gets lumbered with the crap jobs while she gets to... Tobimaro stopped himself, realizing how ridiculous he sounded. Sojiro, rightly so, knew it was nothing to get this upset over.
いいさ。青崎に言いつけられなきゃこうなることもなかったしな。
Well, whatever. I'm only here because she told me to be.
知ってるか？あいつどうして俺にこんな役させたと思う？
Do you know? Did you know why she stuck me with you?
副会長だからだろ。
Because you're vice president? Tobimaro's handsome face went dark.
あんな、どうして副会長が転入生一人にかかりっきりにならなくちゃいけねえんだよ。
Do you really think it's normal for a student council vice president to waste all of his time on a singular transfer student?
いいぜ。機会があったら青崎本人に聞いてみな。あいつの本性がわかるからよ。
I really like the camera work with it. Okay, so going from like Stay Night and then to Hollow Atraxia into this, it's like, ooh, they decided how to better play with their PNGs. That's cool. Whatever, man. Try asking her directly if you get the chance. You'll learn who she really is. He snatched another bite of the rice bowl while grumbling under his breath. There it was again. Rice greens that were just dry enough to be fresh and tender in the mouth. A morsel that betrayed its humble description, which must have been delicately molded by a master chef rather than haphazardly clumped into a ball.
そして何よりこの塩加減、中の具から染み出した厳妙な醤油加減はどうだ。食欲をそそるどころか、脳を食欲だけにするような。
Just the right amount of salt and the subtle list of soy sauce notes coming from the center. It doesn't just whet your appetite, it stimulates the desire centers of your brain. Oh wow.
飛び丸、思ってることが口に出てるみたいだけど。
Tobimaru, I think you're thinking out loud?
あ、いや、それほどのショックだったってわけだ。
It's nothing. Just don't let me surprised.
なあ、ソノジ。これ具は何だ？
Sonoji. Hey Sonoji, what's this filling anyway? Sonoji no salame. It was only natural to inquire, but the unexpectedly delicious bite. He had been nibbling around the edges and had not yet reached its center.
ああ、それはイナゴ。
that would be grasshopper.
ありえねえ!
No way! The vice president choked on his cough. He had assumed that Sojiro would prefer earthly ingredients instead of the seafood on account of his mountain life, but never expected he would use grasshoppers.
くそ、食う前に言えよな。信じられねえぐらいうまいと思っちまったじゃねえか。
Damn it, you should have warned me first, Sojiro. Oh, you know how delicious that was.
ああ、今のは嘘だよ。
Oh, you know, I was just joking. They locked eyes for a moment.
本当は鮭。いくらなんでもイナゴはね。
It's salmon. I don't eat grasshoppers.
おお、そうだよな。いや、安心した。いくらなんでもイナゴはねえよな。
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It totally wouldn't be grasshopper.
ああ、こんな都会で身の締まったイナゴが手に入るもんか。
Yeah, I mean, you can't find fresh grasshoppers in the city to begin with. Like, it's just a pain in the ass. As curious as those words were, Tomomaru decided to let them go.
たく、どっちにしても冗談きついぜ。危うく吐き出すところだったじゃねえか。らしくねえぞ、宗十郎。
Please, Sojiro, it's not something to joke about. You want to hurl or something?
君が青崎の悪口を言うからだ。
Don't say bad shit about Ozaki then. Oh, look at that face. You can't be mad at this face. Sojiro closed his eyes as he continued to chew on his rice ball. Oh, interesting. Tomomaru watched incredulously as Sojiro made no attempt to hide his disapproval.
おい、今のはさすがに聞き捨てならねえぞ。俺が青崎の悪口を言ったから、意種返しをしたと、そういうことか？
Okay, I can't let that go. You're really saying you were taking revenge for Aozaki? Sojiro continued chewing. The country boy's silent protest said all that needed to be said. The vice president suddenly looked like he'd been struck by lightning.
なんてこった。お前、まさか青崎に惚れてんのか？
Don't tell me you've fallen for Aozaki.
そうなのか？そうなんだな。おい、眠ってねえで起きろ。
You haven't, have you? Hey, I asked you a question, damn it. Is he starting to shake him? Tomomaru flew out of his chair and violently shook Sojiro by the shoulders. Sojiro opened his eyes.
そうか。お前は1年前の惨劇を知らないんだな。
I almost forgot. You don't know what happened a year ago.
知ってりゃ、そんなストレートな破滅願望を持つこともなかったろうに。
So if you did, you wouldn't be treading down this path of destruction, my friend.
君の言葉には誤解が含まれてるけど、それは後にする。それより、1年前の惨劇って？
I think you got it wrong, but that's okay. Tell me what happened a year ago first. Tomomaru regained his composure and sat down after a moment's thought.
仕方ねえ。この手の噂をするのは好きじゃねえんだけどな。
Okay, I'm not really one for gossip, but for you, I'm making an exception. Tomomaru reassures himself that it was in Sojiro's best interest as a young man to know.
あれは青崎がまだ1年の頃の話だ。
It went down when Ozaki was a freshman.
あの頃はみんな入学したばっかりで、青崎がどんな性格か誰も知らなかった。
Everybody was new to high school, so nobody knew what anyone was like yet, her included.
あいつ、外見は文句なしに美人だからな。
She was a total babe. I mean, just like look at her.
そりゃ男どもは狂気乱舞したもんさ。
All the guys were crazy for her. Little did they know that soon after they would go crazy for an entirely different reason.
4月5月はもう上を下への大騒ぎだよ。
First couple of months, the school descended into chaos.
あの時ばかりは上級生も下級生もなかったな。
You gotta remember, early on in the year, nobody really cared about hierarchy.
野郎同士の牽制、共闘、果ては決闘まで。まあよくも騒いだもんさ。 青崎に近寄るだけでも大変だったんだぜ。
Tons of guys were fighting themselves over her. It was just insane. Getting anywhere near her was next to impossible.
なんでそんなよくわからない事態になるんだ？
I don't get it. I don't understand. Why would that happen?
そりゃ青崎は一人きり、命知らずな野郎は延べ100人ほどいたからだよ。
Because that's what happens when 100 guys like the same girl. Duh.
一人一人青崎とランチしても3ヶ月かかるだろ。
Would have taken Aozaki nearly 3 months just to have lunch with them all individually.
だからまずは男同士でつまんねえ暗闘があったのさ。
So people fought over the right to ask her out.
まあいい。わからねえならそこは飛ばそう。所詮負け犬どもの話だしな。本筋にはなりえねえ。
Really, they were all a bunch of losers if you ask me, but what happened next was the juicy part.
でな、そんなどうでもいい戦いを勝ち残った奴らは列なして1年の女に言い寄ったわけだ。
Those who emerged from the conflict unscathed made their move.
青崎はあれで、なんていうか、相手のなけなしの誠意じゃなくてあれか、勇気。そういうのを無視できずに認めちまうやつだからな。
Though she might not seem like it, she's the type who likes to put a guy down lightly. You know, because of the sincerity or courage, whatever.
言い寄ってくる相手を可能な限り丁寧に断ってた。
At any rate, she rejected all comers as politely as she could.
が、中にはそれで勘違いしちまうやつもいてよ。
But there was one guy who couldn't take the hint.
3年のある野郎が、これは脈ありと見て、青崎に何度も言い寄ったんだよ。
Some third year refused to give up.
多分、そいつ頭がおかしかったんだ。今にして思うと、そうとしか思えん。
Maybe he was a little bit nuts? It's hard to see it in any other way at this point. Incidentally, Tubamaro decided to gloss over the fact that this student was also the former student council president. Oh.
学園ばかりか。青崎の家まで押しかけたそうでな。あまりにしつこいんで、青崎も堪忍袋の尾が切れたんだろう。ちょっと口にするのははばかられる方法で振ったんだよ。
But he didn't keep it up only at school. Later, he started following her home. Must have been the last straw because Ozaki wigged out. She sent him packing a few ways I'm not comfortable repeating out loud.
結果、
Ouch.
そいつは自分から他校に転入希望したばかりか、三崎町からも逃げ出しちまって、青崎も1ヶ月ばかり自宅謹慎を食らった。
Conclusion? The student didn't just request a transfer. He tucked tail and left Misaki completely. Ozaki was sentenced to a month of house arrest.
世に言う血の公会堂事件だ。
Came to be known as the Bloody Town Hall incident.
詳しく知りたけりゃ本人はまずいな。新聞部にでも行け。あそこの部長は命知らずだから、聞けば面白がって教えてくれる。
She could tell you more about it than I can, but I wouldn't recommend asking her. Ask the school newspaper editor instead. She loves a bit of gossip.
飛び丸、その具体的な表現を恋に避けてないか？
Tubamaro, I get the weird feeling you're not really telling me everything.
仕方ねえだろ。理事長の息子だろうがなんだろうが、怖いものは怖えし、高校ぐらいは無事卒業しとかねえとな。
You do the same if you were me. I may be the board chairman's son and all. Some things scare even me. But I want to graduate in one piece.
うちの女子の制服見るたびに規制を上げるトラウマなんて持ちたくねえよ。
You want me to freak out every time you see a girl in a school uniform? That sounds like a you issue, my man. Sojiro tilted his head from the side in confusion. Tubamaro lost him with that comment.
ああ、いい。
Well, whatever.
それより、なんで青崎なんかがいいんだよ、宗次郎。
What is it about Ozaki that you like anyway? He tilted his head again, this time to the other side. Like a dog.
お前、本当に青崎が好きなのか？
You really that hot for her?
単に胸がドキドキ言ってるだけなら、それは恋じゃなくて恐怖だってオチもあるぜ。いくらその字がぼんやりでも、理由ってもんがあるだろう。
Because if your heart pounds in a presence, that could be caused by fear, you know. Tell me you aren't stupid enough to like her for no good reason. He tilted his head even further. What Tobimaro was saying sounded off, but Sojiro decided not to press the matter. All the more because he found many of his own emotions towards Aoko to be incomprehensible.
そうだな、おかしい。俺はあまり彼女を知らないのにね。
It's kind of strange, to be honest. I don't even really know her all that well. That was because they had not truly spoken to each other since the day she showed him around. Every time Sojiro tried to talk to her, she immediately got up and left. As fate would have it, they ended up working together in that recent Sunday, but made only idle chatter all the way back.
けど飛び丸、君は知らないだけなんだ。
Well, here's something you don't know either, Tobimaro.
時々なんだが、誰かの視線を感じて振り返ってみると、いつ失敗するかを心配して見ている人がいる。
Sometimes I feel like someone's gaze is on me, and when I turn around to see who it is, she's there, looking like she's worried about me. That I'll mess up.
飛び丸の言う通り、ただ廊下で俺を見かけて、単に監視していただけなのかもしれない。本当は俺のことなんて気にせず素通りしたいのかもしれない。
I know it sounds like she just happened to see me in the hallway and was keeping an eye on me. Maybe she secretly wishes she could ignore me when we pass each other.
けど、どんな種類であれ、彼女の心配は本物だ。
But, for whatever reason, I feel like her concern is genuine.
それに、ここが一番大事だと思うんだけど。
And that's the most important thing about all of this.
実際の話、青崎のそういうところのおかげで、俺は助かっていたりするんだ。
I believe that nature of hers has helped me out greatly. His tone was measured and sincere, but Mara sighed with a tinge of regret. If not for those words, he could have introduced Sojiro to a more suitable girl with whom he could have lived out the rest of his school days in peace. He never went to such lengths for his other friends. Generally speaking, if it was of some benefit to him, he would have Generally speaking, if it was of some benefit to him, he was unafraid of exploiting another. If they were of no use, he didn't bother getting involved with them. That was how Tobimaro Tsukiji operated. Sojiro just happened to be the type of person who provided no benefit to Tobimaro, yet somehow sparked in him a desire to help. It wasn't that friendship was completely alien to him. He just didn't have that many people he felt that close to. So Sojiro really had fallen for Alco. It was in his place, as a friend, to try and change his mind.
やれやれ。結局、惚れてるやつには理由なんていらねえんだな。
Yeah. It's true they say what they say. Love knows no reason.
そんなことはない。理由なら一つある。彼女を一目見たときに、綺麗だなって思ったぞ。
I wouldn't say there's no reason for it. I can think of at least one thing. I thought she was beautiful the moment I first laid eyes on her.
Huh?
Tobimaru's shoulders slumped.
なんだあんだけ恥ずかしいセリフ言っといて、要は外見に惚れてますな。結局見てくれかよ、宗次郎。
For all that it's just for her looks? Listen to yourself, man.
綺麗なものに見とれるのはいいことじゃないのか？
I don't know what's wrong with appreciating beauty.
自分を綺麗に見せる努力をしているんだから、外見から内面を判断するのはそんなおかしな話じゃないと思う。
I don't think there's anything wrong with judging someone by the physical appearance if they worked hard to create. That sounded like a sophism to Tobimaru, but had no counterpoint to offer.
しょうがねえ。わかったよ。 の話はもうやめよう。その字が誰をてめえの女にするか、俺の知ったことじゃねえし。
I like this nickname he's given him, like Sonoji. He refers to him to as it sometimes. Sonoji. Alright, I get it. Let it go. I'm sorry, I'll let it go. None of my business who you're after anyway. Now, Maru was mistaken about one major point during this whole conversation. Namely, that Sojiro was not head over heels in love with Aoko and hoped to go steady with her. He just kind of liked being around her. Nobody could have foreseen this massive calamity that would be caused by the simple misunderstanding.
だがよ、一つだけ忠告しておくぜ、宗次郎。
I got just one piece of advice for you, Sojiro.
青崎は喧嘩をした相手だろうと別に嫌うわけじゃない。逆に言えば親切にしたって別に好かれるわけでもない。いい例が俺だ。
Just because Aozaki fights with someone doesn't mean she hates him. And just because she's nice to someone doesn't mean she likes him. I'm a prime example of that. He spoke with a pained sigh, as if opening old wounds from the past.
そうか。詳しく。
Interesting. What happened?
もう昔な、あいつがあんまりに独善的だったんで、つい手を挙げかけちまったことがある。
Were you trying to hit her? Come on. Long story short, she used to be really full of herself, and one side tried to hit her.
半年前の夏だ。1年もあいつと生徒会やってたもんだから、俺も女っつうより戦友って気になっててな。
Happened last summer. I'd already been working with her in the student council for about a year, and at that point I saw her more like a fellow soldier in the trenches than a girl.
つい勢いで平手打ちをしようと右手を上げた。我ながら4番バッターも角也という腰のひねり。確かな実感とともに俺は勝利を確信したもんさ。
One day I lost my temper and took a swing at her. Now, I like to think I got a mean right hook, and I slugged her pretty good, so I thought I won that round. He had a distant look in his eyes as the words trailed off.
翌日になって、こりゃ完全に敵扱いされたなと覚悟して生徒会室に行ってみりゃ、青崎はいつも通りだった。
The next day when I came to the student council room, I thought she'd be spoiling for a fight, but she was the same as always.
で、以来あいつと俺は会長と副会長で収まってる。
And since then, we've simply continued working together as president and vice president. Sojiro cited his story. He then said with absolute confidence,
今の話を総合すると、君は単にのろけたいのか？
What, so you just wanted to brag about how close you two are? Clearly, he had missed the point entirely.
なわけあるか。今の話のどこに甘酸っぱい要素があんだよ。
Are you kidding me? How the hell do you come to that conclusion after hearing a story like that? I really want to yell, but it's not a good time.
俺としちゃあいつを女として見なくなった決定的な事件だったんだがね。
I'm telling you that from that day forward, I could never see her again as a
なん
woman.
だ、違うのか？
Oh, did I get that wrong? A look of disappointment flitted across Sojiro's face. Tobimaro revised his opinion. Sojiro was something of a simpleton, but there was a quality to him that Tobimaro could not quite place.
とにかくだ。俺が言いたいのは、青崎青子の好き嫌いの基準ってのは普通じゃないってことだ。
Oh, you mean like how she could just fucking tank a good force slug? Okay. If that's what you're getting at, I think I understand. Just take it from me. Her standards are anything but normal.
いいことをすれば好かれる。気に入らないことをすれば嫌われる。ってわけじゃねえんだよ。あのお姫様は。
She ain't gonna like you for being nice to her. She won't hate you for being mean to her. That's the kind of princess she is. Sojiro answered that he would keep that in mind as he looked at the clock. They'd been talking for a while, and lunch was just about
もう
over.
君からの話はないか？
Is there anything else you wanted to discuss?
あ、初めからねえよ、そんなの。
Huh? I didn't really have anything to discuss in the first place.
ん
Why did Tabimaru even bring him here in the first place? Sojiro tilted his head in wonder, but shook it off to deal with more pressing matter at hand.
よし。じゃあもう少し付き合ってくれ。飛び丸に聞きたいことがあったんだ。
Could you stay a little long? Could you stay a little longer? There's something I wanted to ask you.
Huh?
Tobimaro sat up straight, having never seen Sojiro's face look so serious before. Sojiro set aside his rice bowl and cleared his throat.
実は昨日、こんなことがあって。
It's about something that happened yesterday. He spoke solemnly. And, as carefully as possible, he recounted what had occurred the night before. Sonori.
しずきくんいる？
Suzuki, in here? It was 10 to 12 and lunchtime was quickly coming to an end. Interesting. Her face popped into Class C as lively as ever. As if it were an everyday occurrence. Aoki Ozaki announced her presence. While Oko wasn't part of Class C, she didn't let that bother her as she casually entered the classroom. In contrast, the baby birds who had been so noisily chirping while eating lunch quickly quieted and began to rearrange their seats.
どういう意味よそれ。
Are they trying to tell me something? She bristled internally before looking around the room. She couldn't see that the male student. She could not see the male student she had come here to find. He hardly stood out, so she thought it might be hidden in a corner somewhere, but that didn't appear to be the case.
有里くん、出席番号12番のしずきくんは？
Arisato, do you have any idea where Suzuki from Seat 12 is? Aoko kept her tone professional.
え、俺？しずきならさっき飛び丸殿下が連れて行ったよ。
Wait, me? Suzuki left with His Highness Tobimaru a while ago. The boy was shocked that she actually knew his name. One might think that the reason students referred to Tobimaru Tsukiji as to be a royal title was because he was the chairman's son, but it's actually because he acted like royalty. Like, actually acted like royalty for some reason. In fact, the vice president was said to have taken a liking to the title.
飛び丸が？あいつしずきくんと仲いいの？
He's with Tobimaru? Are those two friends or something? She seemed surprised. The class seemed surprised at her surprise.
いいも悪いも、築地くんが男子と仲良く話してるのって今まで見たことなかったよ、私たち。
No idea, but we've never seen Tsukiji be that friendly with another boy before.
あ、木の実くんはバカだから別だけど。
Well, maybe Kinomi, but he's an idiot, so it hardly counts.
そうだよな。初めは殿下もあんまり話してなかったけど、3日もしたら楽しそうに口喧嘩してたもんな。
Yeah, His Highness was slow to warm to him, but since it's the third day, it's been nothing but friendly arguments.
ま、しずき相手に突っ張っても仕方ないじゃん。あいつ変だけどいいやつだし。
Well, you can't really help but like Suzuki. It may be a little odd, but he's good people.
そうよね。いい人だもんね、宗十郎くん。
Totally. Sojiro's like really nice. Having recomposed themselves, Class C started chatting again. Aoko listened for a bit before turning around, and leaving the class with a later. That's still the exact same clock noise from Stay Night. All of the Sojiro talk finished as quickly as it started. Lunchtime was coming to a close in the student council room. Sojiro, having told the story, was smiling in satisfaction. Tobimaro, sitting across from him, was frowning.
さあ、感想を聞かせてくれ。
So, what do you think? Sojiro told his yarn as best he could. Tobimaro fingered his brow as if he was angry or concerned.
なあ、ソノジ。お前、人をバカにできるほど器用なやつじゃねえよな。
Sonoji, are you trying to make fun of me? Word of advice, leave that to us smart people, huh?
失礼な。器用な方だぞ、俺は。
Come on, man, take that back. I'm more clever than you think. His response only confirmed Tobimaro's suspicions. It had to be one of two possible conclusions. That what Sojiro had just told him was true, or that Sojiro was so tired he must have been hallucinating at the time. Did he see her do magic? Tobimaro sincerely hoped it was the latter.
宗十郎、率直に言って、俺はお前が気に入っている。
To be honest, Sojiro, you're growing on me.
嘘のない人間なんてのは人間じゃね
Anybody that never lies can't really be considered human.
え。俺は人間嫌いだから、そんなお前さんが気に入ってたりするんだが、そんな奴まで馬鹿げたことを言い出したら、俺は明日から何を頼りに昼飯を食えばいいんだ
So for a misanthrope like me, I suppose you could say it's easy to like you. But if you're gonna stick to your dumb story, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for lunch starting tomorrow.
学食で食べればいいんじゃないか？
I don't get why you can't just eat in the cafeteria. Hearing his suggestion, Tobimaro's face darkened.
わかった。はっきり言おう。それは幻覚だ。
Fine, I'll spell it out for you. You were hallucinating.
幽霊の正体見たり枯れ尾花ってやつだろうさ。それでも納得いかないってんなら、いい精神科を紹介してやる。
If you still insist you saw a ghost, I'd be more than happy to introduce you to a good psychiatrist.
それが君の感想か。よし、ならいいんだ。
Ah, so that's what you think about it. Okay, good to know. As bitter as Tobimaro's words might have sounded to most, Sojiro swallowed them whole.
そりゃ俺だって神隠しの類だと思ったよ。
Yeah, I'd already figured as much. Sounds like a tall tale to me too.
けど、都会じゃもしかしてそれもありなのかもしれないだろ。確かめたかったのはそこなんだ。
I was starting to wonder if it was normal for that kind of thing to happen in the city, so I wanted to hear your opinion. Yeah, that's about what that was. Satisfied, Sojiro finished off the last of his Red Bull and neatly folded the cloth.
おい、すると何か
Hey, hold on a sec.
お前は都会の人間は口から火を吹いたり、腕が伸びたりするのが普通だと思ったのか
You didn't actually think it was normal for people in the city to breathe fire or extend their arms like they're rubber, did you?
まあ普通じゃないけど、特別でもないんじゃないかと思ったんだ。
Well, not normal as much as probably within the realm of possibility.
ここは山にないものが溢れている。何でもありの場所だ。だからそれぐらいやってのける人だってもしかしているのかなと。
City's full of extraordinary things. You don't have to live up in the mountains. Oh, wow. This city is full of extraordinary things. We don't have... Oh, okay, I see. City's full of extraordinary things we don't have up in the mountains. I thought I might have some extraordinary people as well. That his face was as serious as it was made Tobimaro realize just how big of a culture shock Sojiro might be experiencing. Living up the mountains with no electricity. In a place where the night sky was as it always had been, where humans were just one more organism in nature's garden. It makes sense that these conditions would create a boy like him. The idea of children growing up so pure was an appealing one, but maybe it was natural to forego civilization when your population was so small. Or maybe it was so simple a world that excessive knowledge was deemed irrelevant. It was precisely because of city life offered him so much that he was impossible up until now. It was precisely because city life offered him so much that was impossible up till now that he had come to the conclusion that anything was possible here.
安心しろ。確かにこっちにはタチの悪い奴らばっかりだけどな。そんな魔法使いみたいな奴はいねえよ。
Relax. The city might have its share of shady guys, but none of them are mages in disguise.
そうだといいんだけど。
I hope you're right. But Sojiro seemed unsure. And on Tobimaru's part, there were things to Sojiro's story that he found hard to swallow. Whether true or not, the incident Sojiro had described was disturbing.
まあ、事の真偽というか、どんな間違いでそう見えたかは置いておいてだ。
Well, for the time being, let's assume what you saw her happened for real.
結果だけ見れば、うちの生徒が夜の公園で人を殺したってことになる。しかも双方控えめに表現しても普通じゃねえ。
Ultimately, that would mean that one of our school's students killed someone in the park last night. That neither of the parties involved were, normal? As a newcomer to town, Sojiro assumed that everyone his age was a student of the school. For better or worse, he kinda was right.
一人は火炎放射器を持って、もう一人は、まあなんだ、なぎなたでも持ち出したのか、刃物らしきものが何メートルも伸びたときた。
Oh, he's okay. I see what's going on. One of them was equipped with a flamethrower, while the other had a naginata, or at least a bladed weapon resembling one that was a good few feet in length. Sojiro bobbed his head up and down as he listened in with disbelief in Tobimaru's voice. Hearing it repeated by someone else, he could see how someone might think he was taking from the side.
尋常じゃないぞその話。
Look, not crazy. It did happen about how I said.
宗十郎、お前、実は俺をからかってんだろ。
Give it to me straight, Sojiro. You're fucking with me, aren't you?
いや、全く。
I'm not into guys.
けどまあ、都会にはそんな人間はいないんだろ。
But, yeah, I understand. There's no one in the city who can do that, right?
なら飛び丸の言う通り、夢でも見てたんだ。ここのところアルバイトと試験が重なって辛くて。
If not, I was probably just hallucinating, like you said. Working part-time while studying for exams has been pretty tiring. Winter break was just around the corner, and end-of-term exams were but a week away. Both were providing formidable opponents for Sojiro.
俺は基本ができてないから、人の倍程度の勉強じゃ追いつけない。ほら、勉強ばかりしているとノイローゼをするんだろ。
I don't even know the basics, so I need to study twice as hard as everyone else. I mean, I knew I would start to lose it if they did nothing but study, right?
そりゃするんじゃなくてなるものだが、何にせよ、やりすぎ飲みすぎはよくねえわな。試験前ぐらいはバイト減らしたらどうだ？
I wouldn't say you're losing it, but you're definitely pushing yourself too hard. Maybe cut back on the work a little bit until the exams are over.
減らしてはいるんだけどね。年末ってアルバイトを休む人も多くて、その代行も頼まれがちだし。
I planned on cutting back, but a lot of people take off at the end of the year, so they often ask me to fill in for their shifts. He shrugged helplessly. It was obvious from his words that he had been busy. Even if he wasn't going crazy, lack of sleep would have caused him to daydream, even if this all did go down in the middle of the night.
なんだか大変そうだな、宗十郎。
Sounds like you got it rough, man.
ああ、実はかなり参ってる。都会の暮らしは深刻だ。
Yeah, city life is tiring. Sojiro nodded with a pained look in his face, which was strange. However, what was strange, however, was that he did not look at least a little bit tired.
泣き言言わねえのは感心するけどな。お前、新郎は顔に出ないたちか？
I'm impressed you never complain about it. You always look like nothing bothers you at all.
そりゃ心労はどこも痛まないからね。
Oh, that's just because it really isn't that bad. Not bad enough to bother me, anyway. As he answered, Sojiro looked up at the clock on the wall. Lunchtime was almost over.
飛び丸時間だ。
Tobimaro, time?
ああ、もうそんなに経ったか。気にせず先に行ってていいぜ。俺はまだ用があるからよ。
Yeah, shit, it's that late already? You can go on ahead. I still have some things to do. Oh god. I'm dying. Sojiro watched as Tobimaro made a gesture that seemed to lament the life of a student council member. His eyes looked as if they were looking at a piece of art, not understanding its value. That's
授業をサ
incredible
ボれる身分っていうの
metaphor.
は羨ましいな。
I'm honestly a little jealous that you can just kind of skip whenever you want.
そういうの飛び丸が嫌いな手抜きじゃないのか。
I would have thought you were a stickler for the rules.
そりゃ誤解も甚だしい。俺の欠席は手抜きじゃねえ。特権ってやつだと言ったろ。
How many times do I have to tell you? Not skipping when I got special permission. Yeah, do that one. The vice president angrily defended himself as he stood up. Transfer student merely gazed at him unfazed.
おいおい、あれだけ説明したのに全然分かってなかったのか。
You're not seriously implying you don't understand after all of that, are
しょ
you?
うがねえ。まず座れ。いいか、その字。
Whatever. Sit down and listen, Sonoji.
常人を上回る英気と幸運を兼ね備えながら座することなく精進してきた俺でも
Really?
ここを卒業しちまえば
Shit.
裸一貫になっちまうんだぞ。
I was granted talent and luck beyond that of most people, but I always put the work in. But once I leave here, I'm on my own. Now do you get it?
ひでえ話だ。
Sick of explaining this to people.
てめえの家柄を活用できんのはあと1年ちょいだけなんだぜ。これの一体どこが羨ましいってんだ。
My family's influence will only keep me afloat for one more year. What about that could you possibly
普
envy?
通一生続くはずの親の七光ってやつが俺の場合はたった3年間しかねえんだからな。
Most people can live off privilege for their entire lives, but the best I get is 3 measly years.
となりゃ有効なうちに使っておかなきゃもったいなくておちおち眠ってもいられね
Oh, he's almost a Shinji figure. But like he's actually kind of a cool dude about it. Especially with the angle of like he's kind of Sojiro's friend. Interesting, interesting. Maybe I'm reading too much into Fate about it. So I have to take advantage of what I have while I have it.
え。ああ、嫌だ嫌だ。何が嫌かって、バカどもとガン首並べて金勘定するのが嫌だ。たく、嫉妬渦巻く大人の世界じゃ、俺のオブラートみたいな心なんてパックリ飲まれて溶けちまうこと受け合いだろうさ。
Thought of having to count beans like the rest of the idiots out there gets me livid. The adult world's gonna kill me. The envy alone will be enough to destroy my fragile heart. Oh. Well, he must have been joking. Sojiro took this tone to be completely sincere. He listened as he envied Tobimaru's ability to be so open about his feelings. This man is autistic. From his frame of reference, there was nothing he could do but take Tobimaru for his word. When?
あら、そんな権利なんて留年すればいくらでも引き延ばせるのに。
Oop.
なんなら協力してあげましょうか。この私でよろしければ。
If you're looking to extend your privileges, why not stay in school? I'd be more than happy to arrange that for you. The door to the student council... Sees that dumb face again. The door to the student council room flew open, washing away Sojiro's half-uttered responses to his friend. The frosty statement destroyed the warm atmosphere of the room. And it also marked the abrupt end to Tobimaru Tsukichi's reign there.
いや、いい。 自分の夢は自分の力だけで叶えようと常々思ってるんだ。
No, I just meant that our dreams is something we take a hold of ourselves.
そうなら今みたいな恥ずかしいこと力説しないでね。廊下にまで聞こえてたわよ、副会長さん。
Really? Then why not spend more time on that than this embarrassing display? I could hear you all the way from the hallway, Mr. Vice President. Yep. Not missing a beat, Aoko Aozaki stepped into the inside of the room. Oh, that is a door. I thought that was just... Her dark hair was slightly disheveled as if she had been running. Her gaze missed the sitting Sojiro entirely and was focused completely on the ranting vice president.
頑張れ飛び丸。
Yo, good luck, bro. Sojiro quietly got up and headed back to his classroom.
割と薄情なんだな、お前って。
That's harsh, man. Tomorrow grumbled in front of Aoko.
だって時間がない。
But it's almost time for classes.
だから、そういうのが薄情とだな。
Proving my point, you're... He cut himself off. Aoko briefly shifted her gaze to Sojiro.
時間がないのは私も同じよ。あなたにはいつも振り回される。
It's not like I have time for this either, you know. Feels like I'm always having to clean up after you. Not a complaint. It was her honest opinion.
なんだ、要件は総十郎かよ。
Wait, do you hear for Sojiro?
安心なさい。あなたにもあるから。
Don't worry. You're next.
ん？
Her eyes shimmered with murderous glee. It was slightly different from the more sullen gaze to which Tobimaro had grown accustomed. For whatever reason, Aoko's mood seemed worse than usual.
しずきくん、あなた、走るのと泳ぐの、どっちが好き？
Suzuki, which do you prefer? Running or swimming? Nanikaski? Aoko asked abruptly. Sojiro frowned a little bit before saying that he was fine with either.
ダメよ。一つにして。
No? Pick one.
泳ぐ方かな。けどどうして？
Swimming, I guess. Why do you ask?
あなたがまだどこの部にも所属してないから。
Because you still haven't joined a club. A succinct reply. One that left no room for Sojiro to object.
うちの校則読んだわよね。生徒はただ一人の例外もなく、部活動に参加しなくてはならない。
You read the school regulations. All students must participate in club activities.
正直どうかと思う校則だけど、決まりは決まりだから。
I'm honestly not the biggest fan of it myself, to be honest, but a rule's a rule.
そんな無茶な。悪いけどそこまでの暇はないんだ。
That's silly. How could I possibly find the time for that?
でしょうね。
How indeed. An equally terse response. She was typically to the point, but Tomura got the impression that she was expressly trying to keep her interaction with Sojiro short. Like he's radioactive, and if she spends around time, if she spends enough time around him, she'll catch his feelings. That's almost cute. They stared at each other in silence. Tobimaro stood breathlessly silent on the sidelines until Sojiro broke the impasse.
青崎は分かってると思ってた。
Well, I thought you of all people would understand, Ozaki.
あ、いや違う。きっと
Well, I mean,
分かっているんだな。
well, I mean, obviously you do.
だからそこが強いんだろうね。
That's what makes you strong. Sojiro stood up from his seat. He walked past Aoko and into the hallway.
それ明日からでいいんだろ？
Do you mind if I start tomorrow?
しずきくんがいいならね。
Whatever works for you, Suzuki. He did his best to force a smile before leaving the student council room. Now for you. Oh, fuck. Oh, wow. While watching the events play out, Tobimura found himself deeply impressed with Sojiro. He could tell from Aoko's behavior that she was trying to get a rise out of Sojiro. Sojiro, on the other hand, didn't react, heedless of what Aoko was doing. He simply went on his way. To Tobimaro, it was hard to believe that Sojiro had not taken offense. From his point of view, Sojiro's poker face had been the performance of a lifetime.
いや、でも 何が強いんだろうな、会長。
You of all people should know by now that that is not a poker face. That's just his face. You have some balls, huh, President? He looked at Aoko curiously. Aoko stood completely still, staring at the wall.
青崎
Alzaki? Aoko showed no response.
おい、会長。青崎。青子女子。
Joshi?
おい、聞いてんのかよ、青崎青子。
Yo, President. Earth Aozaki. Come in, come in. Lady Aoko? I'm talking to you, Aoko Aozaki.
さいはね、青々を呼ぶな。
Enough of the ow 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 already. God! Her fury echoed across the student council room. It was a beautiful sound that could be heard into the hallway and made Tobimaru's rant from earlier pale in comparison.
やかましい。うるせえのはてめえも同じだ。
Look who's talking, Miss Megaphone! Perhaps her shouting was still ringing in his ears, or it was just the type to answer with a shout with a shout, but he shot back
そ
reflexively.
んなんだから男の一人もできねえんだよ、お前は。ほら、目覚めたか？
Man, no wonder you can't get a boyfriend. Do I have your attention now?
別にあなたの声は聞こえてた。煩わしかったから無視してただけよ。黙らせるの面倒だし。
I could hear you before. I was just ignoring you because you were annoying me, and I thought it'd be easier than getting you to shut up.
てめえな。俺はカカなんかが、おい。
You got some nerve. What am I, a mosquito?
コミュニケーションが成立しない点で言えば、あっちのがまだ上品よね。
A mosquito would be easier to talk to, so no.
ほう。その心は？
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
お互い何を言ってるかわからない。意味のない会話なら、仰せみたいなものでしょ？
Wow. We never see eye to eye. Talking to you is like going on a date. Both pointless activities. Based on that statement, Alco must have been under the assumption that dating was the act of two lovers whispering nonsense to each other.
問題は、お前にとって意味のある会話ってのが、どの程度の価値かってことだが。
Yeah.
まあいいか。
Yeah, I was close. The real question is what the hell qualifies as company to you, but whatever.
いつになくきついじゃねえか、青崎。
You've been awfully harsh today,
ちょっと
Ozaki.
ね。今愛嬌振りまける状況じゃないのよ。
Maybe a little. This isn't exactly the time to make nice. Oop, shit.
不思議だ。この2年間で青崎の愛嬌なんてものは見たことがないんだが。
Funny you mentioned that. I haven't seen you try and act civil. I wanted to say that in a different way. Funny you say that. I haven't seen you try to be whatever. I haven't seen you try to be civil at all these last 2 years.
飛び丸のいない時に振りまいてたの。
Oh, I'm always civil. Just not when you're in the same room.
そうかよ。やっぱりあの時のこと恨んでるんだろう。生徒会長さんはよ。
So that's how it is. You're still upset with me for what happened, aren't you? There's only one thing that Tobimaru could be talking about. The incident that occurred in the student council room this past summer.
ずいぶんと昔の話じゃないそれ。
You still on that? Didn't that happen forever ago?
そんなどうでもいいことに容量を使っちゃもったいないわよ。ただでさえ脳の覚醒部分が少ないのに。
Don't you think you should stop wasting brain power on this? I mean, you've got so few brain cells to work with as is. As the conversation wore on, Aozaki's murderous aura began to fade, and her sharp gaze gave way to a calmer demeanor rarely seen from her. It was quite possible that nobody besides Tobimaru had ever seen this side of her at school before.
ご忠告どうも。俺だってあんなことは忘れてよ。
Thanks for the concern, psych. For the record, it's not like I want to relive it either.
ただ、さっきその字がバカなこと言いやがるから、つい思い出しちまったんだよ。くそ。考えてみりゃ場所まで一緒じゃねえか。
Just when Sonoji was being an idiot earlier, it kind of reminded me how it went down. Come to think of it, this is the room that happened in. Rumor it happened. Rumor it happened. Despite his ranting, his face betrayed a touch of nostalgia. Alco, on the other hand, was scowling.
ちょっと待って。
Hold on.
あの話、彼にしたの？
You didn't tell him how it happened, did you?
おう、俺がてめえになんで会長になんか立候補したのよ。あんたは副会長って顔でしょ。どう見ても。なんて挑発されて生涯最高の月をしたところまでな。
Sure did. At least how you mocked my candidacy for president and told me to my face had sidekick written all over it. And the part where I took the bait and tried my damnedest to punish you for it. Alka let out a sigh, as if relieved Tobimura had not told Sojiro the rest of the story. Even she wasn't sure why.
あれは確かにびっくりするぐらいいい月だった。思わず体が反応しちゃったもんね。
I'll admit, some punch though. Enough to make me react on
と
reflex.
ころで、私そんなこと言ったっけ？
Did I really say that, by the way?
言った。しかも俺が保健室に運ばれた
おお
のはこれ幸いと強引に副会長にしやがった。
Sure did. Not only that, after I was taken to the infirmary, you had balls to tell me you did me a favor by forcing me to be your number two. Since that day, Tobimaro had served as the vice president to the person who'd usurped the role from him.
いいけどな。俺に会長職は合わねえって分かったし、副会長の方が性に合ってやがる。会長なんてやってたら、危うく親父みたいな野郎になってただろうしよ。
It's fine though. President sure didn't sue me anyway. Feel much more at home with this vice president. Your job probably turned me into my dad.
プライド高い分、できることは全部やるからね、飛び丸は。
Yeah, it's a charm point, really. Your pride's never allowed you to give anything less than your best.
会長職に先進するあまり、気がついたら優等生になってたあんたも見たかったけど。
Might be a little too comfortable in the student council, though. Makes me wonder how you would have looked as an honor student.
やめてくれ、ゾッとしね。
Don't even go there. Thinking about it gives me the creeps.
猫かぶるのはお前だけで十分だ。
He definitely said something about a cat, but I don't know the rest of it. Having one wolf in sheep's clothing around here isn't bad enough. Tomura shooed Alco away like an annoying pest. It was a typical example of the crude verbal abuse they exchanged on a daily basis, with a witness that only the two longtime foes could manage. Wittiness that only two longtime foes could manage.
で、なんでそんな話したのよ。
I don't have the right team. So, why did you tell him?
は？
Tell who what?
半年前のここの事件をなんで彼に話したのよ。
Why'd you tell him what happened between you and me?
ああ、そっちか。いや、あいつがバカなこと口走ったからなんだが。
Oh, that. I was just trying to put a stop to the nonsense he was spewing. Yeah. He stopped himself before he said any more. He knew better than to let slip the fact that Sojiro had a thing for Alco. Everyone knew guys shouldn't sell each other out like that. Even if it was all, in truth, a misunderstanding.
それより、さっきのはないんじゃねえのか、青崎。
Anyway, what the hell was that before,
お
Aozaki?
前、宗十郎に恨みでもあんの？
Some grudge you got against Sojiro.
7日以上前の恨みを引きずるほど私はお姫様じゃないつもりだけど。
I'm not some princess who goes around holding grudges for something that happened over a week ago, you know. He wanted to retort that she was more like a queen than a princess. But he'd come to know her too well over the past 2 years to dig himself into a hole like that.
恨みはないね。それにしちゃ、恋に喧嘩売ってただろ。なんでだ？
Not really. Damn. Put some more votes somewhere else. Okay, so why'd you pick a fight with him?
確かに調子の狂うやつだが、あいつほどいいやつはいねえだろうに。
I mean, he does throw you off when you talk to him, but that's not an evil bone in his body.
おい待て。なんだその足元のシロアリを見るかのような態度は。
Wow. Could you not look at me like you just stepped in and shit?
別にあんたまでそのセリフを言うのかって心底から見避け果てただけよ。
Oh, no big reason. Hearing you say that, I was just thinking that I've never met such a despicable person in my life.
まあいっか。いいやつ、いい人、結構じゃない？喧嘩を売る相手としちゃ上等だわ。誰も憎んであげないなら私ぐらいそうしないとね。
Well, whatever. So he's a good guy? It makes him the perfect person to pick a fight with. Nobody else will do it. The job falls to me, right? She said casually, having regained her composure.
しないとねって、お前。
You just can't help yourself, can you? Tobimaro couldn't follow her reasoning at all. Tobimaro was used to Aoko's erratic trains of thought, but hating Sojiro for no reason seemed needlessly cruel. His friend's naive and innocent face came to mind, and then he blurted,
けど、宗十郎は青崎が好きなんだぜ。それでも嫌いなのか？
Brother. Sojiro was taking a shine to you, Ozaki. How can you hate him knowing that? His vow of silence lasted not even 2 minutes.
いや、今のはな、青崎。
Oh, fuck. What I meant was... He tried to take it back, but was far too late. He'd heard his words loud and clear. All he could hope for now was that she would take it well.
そりゃそうでしょ。好き嫌いは誰にもあるし。
Because I like what I like and dislike what I don't.
けどこればかりはね。彼が私と仲良くしたいって言っても、私は嫌いなんだから仕方ない。
Just because he wants to be friends doesn't mean I have to suddenly like him. Stone cold, Aoko. Although she did get the right meaning. Inadvertently. Tomura found himself with indignation at how detached Aoko was being.
いや、そんなお友達感覚の話じゃなくてだな。
Don't you get it? This ain't just about friendship.
そういう好き嫌いじゃなくて、その字は本気でお前に惚れてるって言ったんだよ。
I didn't mean he only likes you either. Believe me when I say that Sonoji really does have a thing for you. He shouted, his face the embodiment of sincerity. Algo gave him a blank stare. It was the face of someone who had lost their wallet hours earlier and was only now realizing it. The first instant of doubt that ushers in the reality of the situation. But an instant is all it was.
で、
Okay. She answered coolly, as if she had no idea why it should matter to her at all.
でときたか。鬼でもなけりゃ悪魔だな。お前って女は。よかろう。聞こえなかったのならもう一度言ってやる。
Okay, what? Are you born in hell? I assume you didn't hear me, and I'll say it again. Sojiro. Tomaro gave up any pretense of masculine solidarity and fired back hard. Why are you going? Brother. This has very quickly become not your business.
いいわよそんなの。つまらないもの。
Don't bother. I don't care less. Couldn't care less, whatever. She ruthlessly cut him off. Thinking of the boys who still harbored unrequited love for Alco, Tomamaro tried hard to come up with a name befitting of the demoness in front of him.
なるほどね。それでさっきの話に結びつくわけだ。
Now I see. So that's why you told him about our little incident.
へえ。柄にもなく友達思いじゃない殿下。
Who would have thought His Highness would be so considerate of his friends?
ってことは、聞くも無残、語るも無情っていう私の噂話、教えてあげたんでしょ？
I bet you also told them all the nasty rumors floating around about me, huh? She laughed as a fiendish smile adorned her face. Tobimaro represented to God, whoever and wherever he or she might be, forever bringing up Aoko's love life.
飛び丸にしちゃ正しい判断ね。褒めてあげるからどんな話をしたのか聞きたいな私。
You did the right thing, Tobimaro. Now be a good little vice president and tell me every single thing you told him. She was smiling, but Tobimaro wished she'd at least try to hide the bloodlust.
代表作とここでの事件を2つばかり。
Just two things, really. The story you're most infamous for, and what happened in this room. Aoko nodded with satisfaction as she listened to Tobimaro's hesitant answer.
こういう時噂話って便利よね。うるさいのを追っ払ってくれるから。でもそんな話を考えなしで広めたら大変だから、これからは気をつけてね。
Rumors like those could come in handy sometimes. You can use them to chase off annoying little bugs. Just be careful about who you tell, okay? Had this been in writing, the chillingly sweet tone of her words could have been signed with a heart. Whether angry or happy, Azuko spoke in a disturbingly cute manner when she was in a heightened emotional state. But Maru took a note of his new discovery, aware that it did nothing to get him out of the situation.
ああ、俺も命は惜しいからな。口はもう滑らねえよ。
Don't worry, I value my life. Keep it quiet.
けど、青崎、本気で宗十郎が嫌いなのか？
But, Ozaki, do you really hate Sojiro that much? Oh, I was super wrong. What the hell? Oh, God. He knew that it was a topic he would be better off avoiding, but he tried asking anyway. The bonds between men, at times, shine more beautifully than a pearl.
まあ
Men,
好きじゃないから嫌いっていうわけじゃないけど、私が彼のことを嫌う理由は自分でもわからない。
Well, I might not like him. That doesn't mean I hate him, though. Not even sure why I feel the way I do.
だからダメなのね、きっと。
Which is probably the problem. Perhaps to placate Tobimaro, Aoko paused in contemplation before she answered. Giving it a moment without immediately blurting out a response meant that not even he could complain.
そうか。ま、そういうことならしょうがねえか。
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
何しろ、綺麗さっぱり感情論だ。お互い理由もなく好きと嫌いじゃ、手を貸す隙間もねえわけだし。
As much as emotional arguments can make sense, there's nothing I can do if neither of you understand why you feel the way you do. Thinking that would be the end of it, Tobimaro looked up towards the ceiling and silently apologized to Sojiro. I can't put this fucking mouse nowhere, man. However, his final sentence appeared to have piqued Aoko's interest.
待って、今のどういう意味？
Hold on. What did you mean by that? Her faux cheer had vanished. Failing to pick up on this, Tobimaro answered nonchalantly.
いや、あいつもさ、青崎に惚れた理由がわからないなんて言いやがってな。ああ、違ったか。理由なんてないなんて意味だったかな。
That's nothing. It's just that Sojiro said he wasn't exactly sure why he liked you. Or more like, there was no particular reason for how he felt, I think. Tobimaro was still in disbelief that Sojiro had been charred by Aoko's appearance, so he purposely left that bit out.
理由はないですって。
He said he likes me. For no reason?
ああ、なんで。俺がいくらお前の噂話をしても無駄だった。天津さえなんて言ってたかな。あ、そうそう。理由はどうあれ、青崎の心配は本物なんだとか、自分はそれで助かってるとか、俺なんかには言えないセリフだったのは確かだね。どうにも。
Yeah, I mean, I even told him all the rumors and shit, and it had no effect on him whatsoever. What did he say again? Something like, really going on about how genuine your concern for him was, and how it really helped him. It's almost too mushy for me to repeat out loud.
はっきりしてんのは、 他の野郎どもと違って噂を聞いても手を引く素振りなんざみじんもなかったってことだけ。
Turn this down just a little bit. Just in case it's... Yeah, there. Yeah. All I can say is that unlike the other boys, rumors didn't faze him in the least. Tobimaro finally noticed the shift in Aoko's demeanor. She was scowling at the wall. She glared at it in silence like it was her worst enemy, and this continued for several minutes.
何それ。さっきといいそれといい、どこかで聞いたようなことばっかり。
What the hell is that? Why can't I shake this feeling that I've heard all this before somewhere? Jesus. So great was her ire that the gnashing of her teeth was audible. The irritation seethed until it reached the point that Aoko forgot Tobimaro was even in the room. Tobimaro looked heavenward for forgiveness, sensing that she'd brought further calamity down upon Sojiro's head.
少しわかったわ。なんであいつが気に食わないのか。
I'm starting to get it now, I think. Why I don't like him. Tobimaro looked away as if to indicate that he'd rather not know, but Aoko ignored him and began to grumble venomously.
あいつ、私が嫌いなやつと言動が似てるのよ。
The way he acts and talks reminds me of someone I fucking hate.
誰彼構わずいい人扱いされるところとか、妙にふわふわしてるところとか、いちいち私の勘に触るところとか。
Everyone thinks he's an angel, and nothing seems to bother him. Maybe it's how good he is at getting on my nerves. Glancing idly up at the clock, Tobimaro thought that last part just sounded like misplaced anger. And that was that. 1 o'clock had come and gone.
わかった。もういい。この話をした俺が悪かった。
Fine, I get it. Sorry I said anything.
で、俺に用ってのはなんだよ。言っとくけど、もう授業始まってるぜ。
Did you need me for anything? Classes started like 30 minutes ago, you know.
え？授業ってなんで？いつ？
Huh? What do you mean by class? What?
いや、さっきその字が出てってから、青月がギラーンって壁に睨んでた時にチャイムが鳴ったんだよ。いいのか、生徒会長。5次元目ばっくれて。
Bell rang right after Sonoji left. Around the time you were busy being pissed at the wall. Tell me, Miss President, you allowed to miss 5th period?
いいわけないでしょ。なんで黙ってんのよ、あんたは。
Of course not. Why didn't she say something earlier? She looked like she was on the verge of tears as she shouted and pulled at his necktie. Tobimaro raised his hand in mock surrender, a gesture reserved only for the true victor.
蚊の方がエレガントなんて言いやがった仕返しだ。思い知るがいい。男の純情を踏みにじったり焼き殺したりするエリート悪魔め。
Consider this revenge for saying he was worse than a mosquito. Hopefully you learned your lesson. Oh, hellish demon who feasts upon the heart of men.
相変わらず細かく根に持つ男。言動には言動で返しなさいよね、卑怯者。
You're so petty, you know that? You're supposed to repay insults with insults, you coward. She tightened his necktie around his neck with a yank. The vice president smiled a thuggish grin as if her reaction made his victory that much sweeter.
お前の古典が破滅に向かっているのは周知の事実。そして A 組の5次元目は言うまでもない。藤代のばあさん。青崎のこと嫌ってるしな。
No secret you're heading to remedial classes. And I didn't have to tell you who teaches class A during 5th period. Old fat Fujishiro's gonna have your head. Fujishiro had one of the longest tenures at the school, so it was only natural that she would be in charge of teaching the classics.
さあ、こんなところで俺のネクタイを引っ張る余裕があるのなら、急いで自分の教室に立ち返るがいい。
Is that necktie is like a proper, like he said necktie? Anyway, this is where you stop yanking on my tie and haul your ass to the classroom.
情けだ。別に止めはしねえよ。
I'm not even gonna try and stop you. Am I not merciful?
くそ、 あんたなんかにはめられるなんて。このまま死んでしまえ。
Damn it all! I can't believe you of all people pulling over on me! Just die already! She choked him even harder with his necktie. As Yoko put words into action and mercilessly strangled Tobamaru, he saw his life flash before his eyes.
いや、待て待て、本当に死んじまうだろうが。今ならまだ間に合う。10分過ぎたら遅刻から欠席扱いだぞ。
Wait, stop. I'm totally gonna die for real. It isn't too late. Do you want them to mark you absent? Algo glanced up at the clock. It was still only 1:07. Her route from the student council room on the second floor to the class A classroom on the third floor. If she ran, she could make it.
命拾ったわね、飛び丸。
You get to live this time, Tobamaru. Alko clicked her tongue disappointedly. What disturbed Tobamaru was that it didn't sound like an empty threat.
あと放課後、ここにいて。頼みたいことがあるのは本当なんだから。
Be after school. I actually do have something I need you to do. She was halfway out the room before she even finished her sentence. Finally all alone, Tobamaru closed the open door, locked it, and slumped into a chair.
たく。ああしてる分には楽しいやつなんだけどよ。青崎は。
Never a dull moment with Haozaki around, that's for sure. He leaned back in the creaky folding chair and let out a sigh. The weather outside was beautiful, but the sunlight waned early in the winter. Before long, daylight would fade, and the unheated student council room would go colder and colder. All the good equipment, like the heater, ended up in the main office, so he had no choice but to settle for the chilly, cold afternoon.
こんな天気が続けばいいんだがね。天気予報じゃ、また雲行き怪しいって話だが。
If only this weather would last. Shame the forecast predicted more clouds. After a somewhat suggestive monologue, Tobamaru's mind drifted. He idly wondered to himself whether Sojiro was an overcast day or clear day sort of guy. But no answers came. Nope. Hour and a half? Kind of don't know what I'll be doing in another 30 minutes. So maybe I'll save right now. Is it? Yeah, there you go. Place bookmark. Oh, I guess I could have just looked at the dates. Whatever. Yeah, nope. Yes. Thank you very much. Actually, with that in mind, did that little happening of that night? That's probably the last time I read it. Yeah. Little happening late. Oh, interesting. Oh, this is probably that story that he was telling Tobimaro. City really is strange. But a pretty easy place once you get the hang of it. Beep bong. Sojiro sighed listlessly. He looked down at the winter schoolyard below, lost in thought. December was written on the corner of a chalkboard. He couldn't believe 10 days had already passed since he transferred to the school. The last vestiges of autumn had faded with the change of the month. The trees were all but barren, and the ground below them a mat of fallen leaves. Fourth period was classics. An elderly teacher stood at the lectern and rambled on. While he'd finally gotten used to the classroom, he still had a long way to go to get up to speed in his classes. Lacking even the basic understanding most students learned in their early scholastic life. It was a battle for Sojiro to keep up. Even if he was unable to grasp all the content right away, he at least tried to memorize everything in the hope that he could make use of it down the road. Which is why losing himself in his thoughts was about the last thing he should have been doing. He would normally chastise himself for daydreaming, but... Troublingly, he was unable to concentrate in class today. Sojiro couldn't place the source of his lack of concentration. Hold on, I'm going to check something real quick. I'm going to place another bookmark. Under that... What's going to happen now is I'm going to... Where is it? There it is. Oh yeah, I don't know that guy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oop. Ah, where's my mouse? I can't do it. There really is no easy way for me to check this. Wait, what? Hmm.
副会長はやめろって。クソったれな話だが、俺は
そうか。でも犬は良くないな。
Yeah, that's where he was. Huh? Did I read all that and forget? Shit. Shoot, it's been like, what, 2 months? I might have. Let me read this again. Single ways to this food is... Time's a wasting. The Canned Food Festival, that's right. Boys. Yeah. No, I totally remember the Canned Food Festival. Okay. God. Oops, shit. Well, that's the end of that recording. So it's a good thing we're doing this in on YouTube, because that would not be saved. All right, well, I guess that is technically my cue to leave then. No, not the whole game. Just title, please. Thank you very much. All right. Well, that's it for that. It's a good thing I've decided to YouTube stream it, or else that would totally be lost, which would be very unfortunate for me personally, because I don't like when that happens. But yeah. I'm very much excited to get back to swing of things here. Actually, hold on, I wonder. Search for bookmark. So it was giving me different delete data, yeah. Why do I have to bring up a controller for this? Yes. Thank you. That other one can stay though. That was fun. Alright. Alright, I guess that's it, guys. If you didn't already know, or you're somehow whatever. The schedule is going to be a little bit different. I've already made the adjustments in the description. For this week, it's going to be this first week. It's going to be I can't even really say Type Moon week, because on Monday it was Extella, which is technically a Type Moon property, and then today was Witch of the Holy Night, which it says Type Moon right there. But actually on Friday is going to be Of the Devil, which apparently won like hidden gem, like some award for being a hidden gem on Steam. That was cool. Apparently, Steam Awards winners: Summon Hades Peak. Silksong won 2 things. Whatever. I can't see them all. Supposedly I'm on something like that somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Friday's gonna be of the devil. I'm gonna be picking that back up. Yay! I've actually thought about it a lot since I stopped playing it as often as I did. I don't even hold on. Is it? Don't I have it here on? Yeah, I do have it on Steam. Yeah. Some games I have on Steam. I'll for the longest time, the Stay Night and Hollow Atraxia were not actually on Steam, and I actually have a couple other games like that that I could do, but I'm probably not going to be doing that. Let's see. Yeah, there it is, of the devil. Anyway, so Friday's going to be of the devil, and then come an update. That's cool. Then come next week, next Monday, we're going to be doing a new set of games. And the week after, it's coming back to Type Moon Week, and then yada yada yada. Continues in sequence. And this is mainly so that I get to dip a little bit further into a lot of different other stuff. Because there's other things that I want to do. Preliminary thoughts. I kind of want to do Ghost Trick. I have that here. There's that Annie Wars game that I've been sitting on for a while. I've downloaded it and meaning to 100 and Hollow Knight maybe. I'll see. It might actually end up being that. So we'll see. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, rest of your week. Hope you guys taking it easy. And yeah. Oh, always remember to work at your goals, even if it's just a little bit. Even if it's just a little bit. I had a quote unquote work day today that consisted of looking at, I mean, I don't have like work today. Consisted of me like looking at pose references and saving some for something that I'm doing. Let's not worry about that right now. But it only took me like, I don't know, an hour, and then I went back to reading Amphorius. Honkai Star Rail Amphorius, because I'm like miles behind. Anyway. Yeah, keep working at it. If you have a thing you want to do, work at it. Yeah. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Rest of your night. Good week. Good month. Great new year. Bye.